What's poppin', guys? Welcome back to Sam Talk Sports. Let's talk about some YouTube boxing. Specifically, does KSI have to defeat both Swarmz and Luis Pineda for his boxing return to be considered a success? First of all, KSI is doing something that is really rare in boxing. He's going to be boxing two opponents in one night. As you guys can see right here, KSI is going to start off the night against Swarmz for 3 rounds, and then KSI against Luis Pineda for 3 rounds at the end of all the fights. And long story short, I believe that KSI does have to defeat both Swarmz and Luis Pineda for his boxing return to be considered a success. And there's a couple reasons why I think this way. First of all, if you look at KSI, he beat Logan Paul in his first and only professional boxing fight, and that was really impressive because he was the underdog in that fight. And you know, Logan Paul, he seemed like he was in great shape, great boxing shape, and the fact that KSI was able to pull off the upset was really impressive. And in terms of the stature of opponents, I would definitely say that Logan Paul is much more well known and much more has shown his capabilities physically, you know, to be a great boxer, while Swarmz is kind of an unknown factor and Luis Pineda is 2-5 in his professional boxing fights. So these two opponents may seem like a downgrade, but now that KSI has decided to fight them, both of them in one night, I feel like that adds on to the stakes. And if you think about it, KSI has been the underdog in all 3 of his fights. His 2 fights against Logan Paul and his only fight against Joe Weller. Yet right now he is kind of considered the favorite. He is expected to win both of these fights. So for KSI to lose one of these fights would be quite damaging to his boxing reputation, his boxing plan to maybe confront and fight Jake Paul in the future in 2023. And I think KSI doesn't really have to have 2 superstar knockouts, crazy, wild, highlight reel performances for this event for him to become a success. I just think that he needs to win both fights. It might be like a dirty fight in the sense that might have to dig deeper in the trenches to come out on top. But lots of, you know, not only is his boxing performance at stake, even his if you look at the article right here, KSI is working with DAZN for this fight, and he has worked with DAZN previously when he faced off against Logan Paul. So in terms of his financial benefits and this partnership with DAZN, a loss would be tremendously damaging to his future drawing ability, drawing powers. And you can also see that KSI is the CEO of Misfits Boxing. You know, I think KSI is a genius in the sense that anything he seems to put his hands on, YouTube, boxing, music, Drink Prime, anything that you want to list about KSI, he has always found a way to find success. You can't even forget about Sidemen and all of the boom and success they have shown. So for this to be Misfits Boxing's first event with KSI being CEO, going out with 2 wins to start off this new business would be huge for KSI and company. And as you guys can see right here, the first event is already sold out. This card seems like a very fascinating, exciting card. And if you compare so far what we have seen with all the turmoil with Wasabi dropping out of the fight, I think this event will definitely succeed, and it'll definitely be a lot better in terms of the organization compared to Showstar Boxing or Social Gloves. So having KSI winning the 2 fights on his boxing event would be ginormous for his future. And the biggest thing is the Jake Paul versus KSI fight. You know, KSI literally said that he has returned to boxing because of Jake Paul. Jake Paul is his target. That's the main goal. That's the only reason I came back. And we all know in boxing, if you lose, it's very damaging to your record and your reputation. And considering that Swarmz and Luis Pineda aren't really that well known, I just don't think that KSI can lose to them and still have an enticing matchup with Jake Paul. So that's my thoughts. I feel like KSI needs to win both of his fights in whatever fashion. It doesn't have to be beautiful knockouts. It doesn't have to be like a showstopper. But, you know, 2 decision wins will also do the deal. But ideally, maybe against Swarmz, he could show a little bit more of his boxing skills, especially after almost 3 years out of the ring. But with that being said, I'm super excited for this fight. These 2 fights, should I say, and also all of the remaining fights on the card. It's going to be a very fun day of boxing, YouTube boxing, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think of KSI? Do you think he's gonna win both fights or just one of them? And that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to live a spicy life. Peace.